G'day everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of A Peek Behind the Lines for Destroyer Lines. Today I am joined by a songwriter I love, Brian
Very
Aubert.
good. That was very good.
How are you, Brian?
I'm very good. That introduction was honestly spot on, perfect.
Why, thank you. Now, Brian, of course, you are in the wonderful band Silversun
Oh,
Pickups,
no, you're very kind. Thank you.
who are making their way out to Australia for the first time in way too
I
long.
know. I know. It was not on, we didn't mean to. You know, Australia, um, the first time we came to Australia was with a friend of ours van that took us on something called Snow Patrol. And they brought us to Australia and also were kind enough to let us do our own shows, one in Melbourne at the Ding Dong, which is no longer there, and the Annandale Hotel in Sydney, and then a Brisbane outside thing. And they were honestly, that was very nice of them to be like, listen, you guys are coming all the way out here. You get to do your own shows too, because there'll be people that want to see you but don't want to come see us. And we just pinched ourselves because we just thought, well, I can't believe music brought us here. We're now in Australia. So we're going to do everything in our power. We're going to climb every bridge, go to every like food place they tell us, hug every koala, eat every bug in the bay, do everything we can. And we did. And thought we'll never come back here again because the odds are that we'll never be able to. And then we came back again with Birds of Tokyo. They brought us out there and we couldn't believe it. And they did the same thing. We hugged the koalas, we jumped on the thing, we met all our friends, this and that. And then we came back again with Dandy Warhols and this festival, and we just couldn't believe that Australia was something that was current to us. So the vacuum of us not going there, we felt, we could feel like, oh man, we have to get back there. And just it's so boring, but logistically it just didn't happen for one reason or another. And we got booked on this other thing, and then COVID and time just didn't make sense anymore. And then this showed up, and we were so over the moon that we get to come back and continue being, hopefully, and yeah, anything involving Australia.
That is awesome to hear that you have such a lovely connection
Oh
to our
yeah. Oh
country.
my
And
God, we do.
it,
I love it. We love it. We just enjoy it so much. We have so many friends there now, that we're gonna check in on. Friends that we met in Australia, bands that we toured with, Liza Delusionals, Ann Horace, Alice Genius. Um, and then people that we know who moved back there, from who are from there. Los Angeles is a place where everybody is you can if you're from some place, you can find people from where you're from, you know, and it's not honestly too like a Los Angeles to Sydney, uh, a move is a lateral move. It wouldn't shock you that much. California and Australia are not like whoa. um, uh, so we've known people that have moved back there during COVID, went back home. So like it's gonna be lovely to go see everybody.
I'm sure they'll be looking forward to seeing you. And like, you're not just coming out for the Tenterhooks record because you've released what,
Uh,
three, maybe
I
four full
know,
lengths since the last
I
time you
know.
were here.
We have talked about this. We have definitely had discussions about this, and I feel like it doesn't feel to us like a part of the Tenterhooks tour. It feels like something other, where we're coming, and I think that we're going to make a more generalized set that's going to kind of carve into a lot of different things versus just heavily on one record, and then so we'll see what happens. If we can dust off some things.
Wonderful. They are all very different records.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they can be. At the end of the day, we're lucky because there's some sound that happens when the four of us get together that we don't really have control of. Like there's like a unmovable object that sits in the center of our world, and what that does is it gives us the opportunity to run as far away from it as we can, but we still know we're kind of tethered, and and so that gives us a kind of safety. It also gives us a safety. It's like, hey, if you're not into our band, there's nothing we can do about it. There's a lot of other bands out there, so we can't change for you. so, so it's like, I mean, there's something that happens that there's nothing we can move, but we can try and dance as far away from it as we can. So having all these records now, playing them all live in this way, just it's been really, I don't know, it really like really strengthens some of the older songs in some ways. Like having newer stuff where your wanderlust is fulfilled puts a lot of the older songs back on track where they were supposed to be in the first place. So you get a lot more of a, for at least us, like people in the audience might not notice. It might just sound like loud, this. But for us, it feels like, and it's like the parentheses move out a little bit.
Brenton, Tenterhooks was what, your third record in a row working with the legendary Butch Vig.
Bushwick, he's legendary in my mind. He's wonderful. We love him. He's a good friend.
Do you feel like there's a through line for the records you've worked with him on? And
Hmm.
have you learned anything from being in the studio with Butch and the way he makes records?
Yeah, I just love it. I learned that I don't ever want to make a record without him. It's just like because he's all over these records too. Like by continually working with him and the way we work and the friendship that we have, and we're really close. You know, he's one of my best friends now, and we talk a lot. And he's also a person that's in a wildly important rock band still. You know, that tours more than they have before. That's probably more important than they've ever been. Shirley Manson is a person that the world has finally caught up with. You know, um, so even that aspect, we talk shop about touring. You know, he'll call me and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired," or something. You know, just like weird stuff. Um, but every time we get into these new records, he's got something more he's interested in. Like, so we're all he's bouncing off of what we did before as well, sonically, and he has sort of ideas in here and there. But really, what happens is I'll just come into his house, and if I have enough ideas, we call the band over, which sets up his stuff, and I just start unloading. You know, I just start playing acoustic, and we just start going through things, and I go through the melodies, and we see what happens. Is there something here? Are we going to start working on something? And before we know it, we're working on a record. You know, and no one even knows that we're doing it. And I remember management calling us and going, "Hey, so what are you guys up to? When you think of writing?" And we're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot to tell you, we're halfway done with a record right now." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, we just went to Butch's and we just started going for it." He just for me, we have a really amazing working relationship. We work really hard, but it's really fun, and I'm very quick, and he is very quick too. So like we just there's like a moment where what typically happens is when we're doing something at his house, which is like, you know, about, I would say about 75% of it, whatever we can do at his house, we do. And then we'll move to Billy Bush's, Shirley's husband's studio for certain things, and then bigger studios for drums or strings or things like that. But mostly we do it in his house. And what we'll do, like I'll get there and we'll like hang out and we'll talk about this and movies and this and that, and his daughter, and family stuff and life stuff. And then for 4 hours straight, we just go. It's just like heavy. We just here we're setting stuff up, we're going, ideas, and then after 4 straight hours of it, we're done. So we're usually done by like 5 p.m., you know, and we get to go home and kind of have lives and sort of get air back into our heads. But in that 4 hours, it's more productive than any time back in the day when we would just stay all day in the studio, you know? We would just like a bullet, just like boom, go. And so we do stuff. It happens so fast that if the one thing you have to be aware of is just like keeping up with it because the record is now like going. You just got to get in front of it. So there's not a lot of like lag. And that's just the way it works. And it's an experience that does, you know, even when things get kind of difficult and challenging, we always walk away from it in a way that feels pleasant.
It's about the healthiest
Well,
creative.
well, honestly, you do your best, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's that's interesting that you said that because I think he and Butch and us, for as long as we've been doing it, I think one of the things you're trying to do is trying to get the most out of something and not lose any integrity at all in the healthiest way possible, you know? And I think, we can still keep going. We can still learn more, but that's really what we're interested in, being human.
Yeah, being human. And look, Tenterhooks is a very human sounding record. It's got a lot of,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
and I feel like you can feel the momentum that you were just discussing in how it came to be as well, because it's quite a driving album by, well,
Yeah.
in the catalog
Yeah. Yeah.
of
It is.
Silversun
It's impatient.
Pickups.
It's impatient. It's antsy. It's, that's how it was supposed to be. It was, we just wanted a record that didn't stay, didn't wear out its welcome. Like it's the most confined record, even though it's like we're not like shortchanging on ideas and things and stuff. It's just that it's much more compact, you know. And I wanted it to be one vinyl classic flip over side A, side B, 10 songs. That's what we wanted. That's what I wanted. And luckily, you can say what you're going to do just to start something. You got to have some sort of idea just to begin it. Doesn't mean you have to stick with it. At least it's like a foot. But we did. We stuck with it. And I'm glad you felt the momentum because it was there. That record was just came right out. You know.
Has it translated well to the live environment, having those punchy kind
Yeah,
of
we're
immediate
getting
songs to
there.
draw on? Yeah.
We're getting there. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, we're getting better at it for sure. You know, we get tripped up here and there. I mean, um, but yeah, they're very conducive to live for sure, which is something that we always kind of angle at anyway. But that's always in the back of our minds. No matter how tricky we can kind of get, we always know how to make it alive. Because for us, live is supposed to be an experience, and it's like a heightened version of it. It should feel like the album, but not necessarily be the album. It's got to be a little more wild, So we just kind of you just trim the stuff that's not necessarily. You kind of up the stuff that's there, and therefore we just want it to feel more like the live show should, like I said, just be another angle on the album that's not necessarily just hearing us play this exactly the same. It's not that interesting to us. Now we're not doing like jazz covers or things like that. It is us playing the song. They're just a little more raw, and I think we like it that way.
That's great. Now, I can imagine building set lists for tours at this point in your career is a little bit of a nightmare in the sense that,
Yeah, we always think it's going to be, but it hasn't so far been the case. There's been a flow that just seems to work, and we have a few revolving doors in it that we can switch out songs that will kind of do this similar fashion. So, but there's a certain shape that the set takes that we tend to like, you know. And sometimes it's a little bit of a battle between Nikki and Christopher. Nikki, my bass player, and Christopher, our drummer, because she likes to come out just banging right away. And Christopher's like, I'm gonna die if if we do that. First time we played one of Nikki's set lists, he was like, she likes to go hard and then just like chill at the end. And Christopher was like, I'm going to die. We have to literally change the set. My arms are gonna fall off my body. So we do find like a nice flow and a balance that seems to work well with us, and we try to keep it that way.
uh, some of your earlier material probably belongs in the can't be cut from the set.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, it does. You'd be surprised. Like no matter what, people are yelling song titles at us. Um, that doesn't matter what we play. Like if we don't play that one song that night, then we'll hear about it. So we just keep our ears closed.
The industry's changed
You know,
a lot as well, like over your time as a band. Like when Cannabis came out and Swoon came out, we're looking at a completely different environment to the one in which you are now, uh,
yeah, I guess so.
making a living. Have you found that there's been any positives to it? Like we hear a lot about the negatives, but is there any positives to the way the world's approach to music has changed?
Well, I don't know. It's hard. We were kind of birthed in the altering of how things went. Like before we started, like Carnivis and those things, like that was in the beginning of the Wild West. Like when we first started making records and touring, we were hearing from over other established bands that things were completely different. And but that's the only way we knew it. So we didn't really come into it in a place that was as stable as it clearly was before we got into it. So to us, every record is just always there's always a billion things going on, and people telling us that this thing is that, and we should do that, and we don't listen to anyone. We're just like, whatever. Like, oh, really, Vine? Like, I don't care. We just make our record, and then however you get it is there's nothing we can do about it. Like, it's always been zany, um, and it never has made sense. So all we can really do, it's hard to lament something we've never kind of understood. And uh, so I guess since we were born in the beginning of the not the things being so linear, it feels just the same in a weird way, you know?
Yeah, that's an interesting take because I don't talk to a lot of bands that did come up during that in between, like that awkward in between era, like the
Yeah, I
where
mean,
you have.
anybody before us was like, "Oh man, it's changed," and we were like, I mean, we don't know. For us, it changes every year, you know. Like every year is different. Every literally record we come out with, there are things that people have decided that this is the way music is heard, and I go, okay, sure, I guess, you know. But then they go like, "Well, radio's dead." I'm like, "Well, we sometimes get played on the radio, and I can tell you that there are still people that listen to it. Like, there's just a bazillion avenues of how people access it, and all we can really control is the thing that they're accessing, which is our music."
Absolutely, and Australians will get to access that music live for the first time in
Whoa! Now
so very long.
I gotta tell you, I got the chills just now for how good that was. That was so good.
And when
I
we
am so
do,
impressed.
when we do get the chance to experience
Hmm.
those songs live, I want to know what the song you want to play the most for us is.
Oh, what have we not played there? Well, last time we were there was Neck of the Woods. Um, I looking forward to playing. Honestly, we just started getting good at a song called "The Wreckage," which is on our new record, and that one we were good at it, and then we weren't. Um, it's not that you'd even notice that we weren't. Like when we say that, it's almost like how it comes out of us. Like we'll get it out, but it's awkward for us to do it. You know, we've just gotten to the point where it feels good to do it, and it's been a it's been very rewarding to play that one. Yeah, so maybe that one. I know that's kind of pedestrian to say that, but
It's
I don't
not.
mean to be like, "Oh, a new single," I don't mean it like that, but it's just,
It's my favorite song on the record, if that helps.
oh,
So
cool, thanks, yeah, well then I can't wait to deliver it to you. Question mark.
yeah. Well, hopefully
Nope. No
that
pressure.
no pressure. Don't fuck it
It's
up.
just my favorite. Don't fuck it up. It's just my favorite song of yours, and you never come here. Just no big deal. Just make sure. Yeah.
Favorite song off that record. But yeah,
Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. When we play it, I want you to stand in front of me with your arms folded.
oh, the Melbourne special.
Oh, that's
Uh,
not just the Melbourne special. That's any like cool city. That's the New York special, LA special. That's
it's
the
the
every like cool city.
it's like, come on, then impress me, do it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, what do you got? Yeah, I don't care. Well, we're always so loud as a band that those people, if they're not into it, they gotta leave.
Now, I could ask you general questions and banter with you all
Sure.
day. Yeah, but thanks for having this long form chat to start with.
Oh yeah, of course.
I really look forward to the tour, and I'm sure the rest of Australia
Oh,
does
me
too.
too.
And
Oh, we really do too.
just to note, the band you've got coming up, coming with you, Coast
Yeah,
Arcade. I saw
yeah.
them with Texas is the Reason
Oh,
uh,
amazing.
like last week or something. They're amazing, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Yeah, that was just a whim. Somebody mentioned them once, and I looked at them, and then we were got friendly with each other, and we were looking for people to tour with, and not on them in Australia. And then we got asked. to do these shows, and they immediately said, "Oh, we'll just go get that band if they're around." And they did. They said yes. So there we are.
That's
I
awesome.
know. Yeah, I
That's
know. I'm
awesome.
excited.
There you go. So we're going to see Silversun Pickups and Coast Arcade in Australia,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
it's going to be quite a blast on the Tenterhooks tour.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining me
No
for this
pressure.
chat, Brian. Be
Of
good.
course, of course.
No
Thank
worries.
you.